and welcome to part 2 of the tutorial for recording HTTP traffic via the clip editor. Previously on part 1, we had a discussion about the two different ways in which you can do a recording, and we talked about the recording process and initial setup before you can even start to do a recording. Now in part 2, we will do an actual recording and then look at some clip editing that you can do while you are in the process of recording traffic. After that, we'll talk about removal of unwanted targets and filtering out of HTTP messages. So let's go ahead and start a recording here. I'm going to come over here and just click on Record HTTP. I'm going to make sure I select my Windows 7 VM conductor here, which actually is already selected, and then just click Record. And notice when I do that, you see the record button up here on top is now bright red. And if I look over here on my Windows 7 VM, the color of the conductor icon is now green. So this is all indicative that we are in the process of recording. So as soon as I start generating requests in my browser over here, we'll start seeing messages show up here directly in the clip editor on the left here. So let me go ahead and hit the landing page of our fake e-commerce site. And as soon as that loads up, over here in the clip editor, we should see some HTTP messages being processed. And you can see them right here. Right now in the clip editor, we're in icon view. I'm going to go ahead and change this to list view, simply because that's how I prefer to work with my clips. And so we're still in the process of recording, and while that's going on, I can do things like create transactions. So for this first group of requests that was generated as a result of hitting the home page, I can go ahead and just create a transaction, and I can name this something like landing page. And then I can continue on with the rest of my user flow. So over here, I'll just go ahead and click on something like add to cart, and then over here we see another request pop up. Now notice Cloud Test automatically inserted a time delay here, or a user think time if you will. So anytime there's a pause greater than 2 seconds in between HTTP messages being sent over the wire, Cloud Test will automatically insert a time delay here for you. So here I can create another transaction for this one. I can change the time delay here to be 2.5 seconds. I can do things like add commentary, such as this. Or I can add validations to any page. So basically anything that you can do clip editing wise, you can do while you're still recording here. So it just adds a level of flexibility. One thing to take note here is if you wanted to go back and change a previous transaction, for example, if you wanted to go back and change the first transaction name to homepage, and then you wanted to pick up your recording again, the recording is going to start putting messages directly under this, what you have selected here on this line. So keep that in mind. If you wanted to continue recording at the end, make sure you put your cursor at the end of the sequence here, because if you put it at the beginning and then do some transaction, let me do something else like another add to cart here. You can see it's going to be output here directly under where I had that line highlighted. Another thing I wanted to mention here is that Cloud Test is automatically creating pages for you. And what I mean by that is instead of individually listing a sequence of HTTP messages, Cloud Test is logically grouping together HTML documents along with corresponding page assets. So if we drill down here on this first transaction that I created, this right here is a page container that Cloud Test automatically created with a main HTML document and its corresponding page assets. So this is something that's automatically done when you are recording into the clip editor. So I'm going to go ahead and stop this recording, simply just clicking on the record button there to stop the recording. And let's go ahead and take a look at the targets that were created as part of this recording. So I click on messages and actions, and notice the included targets down here. A lot of this looks like stuff that we don't need or want as part of the recording. The SOSTA store was the main application. Some of this other stuff just was like background requests, possibly generated by other background programs I had running, such as Dropbox. However, it's easy enough to get rid of this stuff, so I'll just go ahead and group select by holding down the Command or Control key, depending on whether you're on a Mac or Windows, and then right click and just click Remove Targets. And when I remove these targets, click OK, it automatically removes all individual messages related to those targets within the clip. This concludes the tutorial on recording HTTP traffic via the clip editor. For more information on this or any other topic, please visit our CloudLink forum